Crypto Corner, powered by Binance.
On Crypto Corner today, we are joined by Sid Powell, who is CEO and co-founder at Maple Finance. Sid, hi, thank you so much for joining in. First of all, your sense on the convergence of institutional private credit and then real-world assets and currency hedging. How are you looking at that?
We see a lot of acceleration on the level of institutional adoption of crypto. I mean, this was best exemplified the other week when we had the announcement of Robinhood Chain and Robinhood making on-chain yields available to their 30 million customers and 350 billion of assets. We've also seen significant strides in tokenization with some of the huge private credit players like Apollo, Hamilton Lane, among others, tokenizing their private credit funds and making these available through DeFi and to crypto investors writ large.
Sid, tell us on how can global smart contract credit funds pool international liquidity to cater to high-growth, capital-starved commercial businesses or fintechs in emerging markets?
That's a fantastic question. We actually get a lot of inbound interest from payment processors and from small business lenders who are based in India who are, as you said, capital starved. There is a lot of investment happening in the country and a lot of demand for capital as many of these businesses look to grow. And so they are how they are looking at using real world assets and tokenization is to raise debt through smart contracts or through on-chain protocols such as Maple and many of the others out there. And so what they can offer is high yields to international investors. And in return, what they get is capital to grow and invest in CapEx and the expansion of their businesses. So we see a lot of demand there, and I think India is a geographic region that is poised to grow off the back of tokenized private credit.
So that point well taken. What would you say on cross-border regulatory or forex currency hedging hurdles that need to be resolved before Indian institutional players can actually seamlessly deploy capital into decentralized world?
I think FX hedging cross-border is going to be an opportunity and indeed a hurdle that needs to be overcome, because as your listeners may be aware, many of the investors in on-chain private credit are using US dollars. However, the companies in India who would take out loans to invest in their business would want to use FX. So you need to have robust FX hedging in there so that you don't have either the investors or the businesses taking on too much FX risk. We've seen green shoots in this area. I do know a number of companies who are looking to provide that hedging either as OTC desks or through tokenization of the Indian rupee. So I think that is probably one of the key issues. I think cross-border regulation of cryptocurrency movements is getting better. Many of us here in the US are kind of waiting to see how the Clarity Act shakes out. Still seems to be a coin toss as to whether that happens this year, but I think that will then accelerate the regulatory frameworks for the rest of the world when it comes to regulating cryptocurrency.
All right. Sid, as an institutional banker by trade, how do you balance programmatic smart contract automation with traditional human-led credit underwriting?
That's a great question, and one of the issues we face every day. So what we do is we use the smart contracts on Maple's side to raise the capital. We use this for many of the operational burdens, which used to be quite cumbersome when I was back in institutional banking. So, calculation of interest payments, settling payments and settling loans. And then where we overlay human expertise is on the actual credit underwrite. So Maple's core business, we have close to $2 billion in loans outstanding against large cap cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and XRP. So we overlay human judgment on top of programmatic smart contracts. But increasingly, we're also using AI to monitor volatility and to alert our ops team and credit teams, when there is a spike in volatility and therefore more riskiness as to these loans. But that's how we do it today, and I expect the use of AI to continue to surge in our business.
Sid, with first half assets under management sitting at 4.6 billion, which is 81% up year on year, what is the next growth frontier for permissionable SIROP-FI arm?
That's something we think about every day, Manisha. So for us, the target to get to by the end of the year, we're currently at around 20 million in annual recurring revenue. We would like to see Maple get to 50 million in recurring revenue by the end of the year, so a little over 2x growth. And for us, the next big AUM or total value milestone will be the $10 billion mark. And what we see getting us to there is we are now working with a number of fintechs and neobanks, case in point being the Robinhood Earn announcement, but we see a path to distribution to millions of users where we can offer Maple's yield products like Syrup USDC to users around the world who are looking for high quality institutional grade yield. And the other element is, of course, what you and I were talking about before, which is tokenization of real world assets. So we want to apply loans to help real world businesses to grow and to expand, create jobs, and contribute to real world outcomes. So we've begun in crypto-backed lending, but where Maple will expand is lending to real businesses through tokenization of real world assets.
Okay, we'll surely watch out for that, Sid. But thank you so much for joining us on the show. And Manisha, thank you so much for taking us through that conversation in the world of cryptos as well. Thanks so much, both of y'all. But
For over 25 years, CNBC TV18 has been the guiding force for investors, steering them through the markets.
Start your trading day with cutting-edge insights and expert analysis.
Seize every opportunity by decoding the forces that drive the market.
Equip yourself with strategies and guidance from India's biggest market mavens.
Invest with confidence as we beam live from the CNBC TV18 Motilal Oswal studio.